The penthouse door clicked shut behind them. Olivia's hands trembled as she set down her worn duffel bag on marble floors that probably cost more than her yearly salary. "You're shaking," Daniel said softly. She turned to face him. The city lights through floor-to-ceiling windows cast shadows across his face, making him look like a stranger. 3 months since that rainy night at Bean Haven. 3 months of dinners at Frank's Diner, walks through the park, his hand warm in hers. 3 months of him hiding this. "You lied to me." Her voice cracked. Daniel loosened his tie, his shoulders sagging. "I never lied. I just didn't tell you everything. You said you worked in tech. Boring computer stuff." Olivia gestured at the sprawling apartment, the artwork on the walls, the view of Manhattan that people paid thousands just to glimpse. "This isn't boring computer stuff, Daniel. This is billionaire stuff. Would you have given me a chance?" He stepped closer. "If I'd told you that first day that I owned half the tech companies in this city? That I had more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes?" Olivia's throat tightened. She thought of every time she'd insisted on splitting the check, every moment she'd felt guilty about her second-hand clothes, every night she'd worried he'd see her tiny studio apartment and realize how different their worlds were. "I deserve the truth. You deserve to be seen." Daniel's brown eyes held hers. "Not as a project. Not as charity. As Olivia. The woman who saves pigeons and dreams bigger than anyone I've ever met." The anger burning in her chest flickered, but didn't die. "My lawyer called today," he continued, voice rough. "The prenup is ready. I know it's fast, but my board is pushing for stability, and I..." "Prenup?" Olivia's blood went cold. "Daniel, we've been dating for 3 months. Who said anything about marriage?" He pulled a small box from his pocket. The world tilted. "Marry me, Olivia. Tomorrow. I'll give you everything you've ever wanted. The shelter. The veterinary degree. Your parents never working another day. Just say yes." She stared at the ring, at the man she thought she knew, at the life she'd never imagined. Why the rush? Something dark flickered across his face. "Because I'm running out of time." Olivia couldn't sleep. She lay in Daniel's guest room, staring at the ceiling, the ring box unopened on the nightstand. At 3 a.m., she gave up and wandered through the silent penthouse. The study door was cracked open, light spilling out. Daniel sat at his desk, head in his hands, surrounded by photographs. Olivia pushed the door wider, and he looked up, eyes red-rimmed. "I couldn't sleep either," she whispered. He didn't try to hide the photos this time. They covered the desk. A young woman with Daniel's eyes and his smile, frozen in dozens of moments. Birthday parties. Graduations. A sister who looked nothing like the ghost he'd mentioned at the coffee shop. Olivia picked up one photo. The woman wore scrubs. Green eyes sparkled with determination. Her stomach dropped. "Daniel." Her voice barely worked. "This is Jennifer?" "Yes." She was a veterinary technician. She worked at Riverside Animal Clinic. The room spun. Olivia gripped the desk. "That's where I work." "I know." The words hung between them like a blade. "You knew?" Olivia's hands went numb. "That day at Bean Haven, you saw my journals, my scrubs. I'd been watching the clinic for weeks." Daniel stood, but didn't move toward her. Trying to understand what Jennifer's life was like. What mattered to her. "Then I saw you running through the rain, and you looked so much like her. The same passion, the same fire. So this was all what? Some twisted way to get close to your dead sister?" "No." His voice broke. "At first, maybe. But Olivia, when I got to know you, when I heard your dreams, your story." "My story?" Bitterness flooded her mouth. Or Jennifer's story? Did you even see me, Daniel? Or just her ghost? He moved toward her, but she stepped back. Everything I told you was real. My feelings are real. Then why lie? Why the secret engagement? Why are you running out of time? Daniel's jaw clenched. He walked to the window, silhouetted against the city lights. Because in 6 months, if I'm not married, my family's foundation reverts to my uncle's control. Jennifer set it up that way in her will. She wanted me to move on, to find someone who'd help me do good with the money. She knew I was drowning in it. So I'm a solution to your inheritance problem. You're the woman I love. He turned, and the rawness in his face almost broke her. Yes, the timing is convenient. Yes, I should have told you everything from the start. But Olivia, I'm asking you to marry me because I can't imagine my life without you. Because you make me feel human again. Olivia's hands shook as she set down Jennifer's photo. I need air. She walked toward the door, then stopped. Did Jennifer know about me? Before she died? The silence stretched too long. Answer me, Daniel. She died 2 years ago, he finally said. Not last year. And yes, she told me about the new girl at the clinic. The one who reminded her of herself. She said I should meet you someday. The betrayal hit like ice water. Get out of my way. Olivia, please. I said move. She grabbed her duffel bag, tears streaming, and ran for the elevator. Behind her, Daniel's voice followed. If you walk out that door, you'll never know what Jennifer asked me to give you. Olivia's finger hovered over the button. Olivia's finger trembled on the elevator button. Every instinct screamed to run. But she turned. Daniel held a sealed envelope, yellowed with age. Jennifer's handwriting sprawled across the front, for Olivia Torres. She left this with her lawyer 2 years ago, Daniel said quietly. With specific instructions. I could only give it to you if we fell in love. Real love, not forced. Not arranged. How convenient. But Olivia's feet moved toward him anyway. She snatched the envelope, tore it open. The letter inside was short, written in shaky handwriting. Olivia. If you're reading this, my brother finally got his head out of his privileged rear end. Good. He needs someone real. Someone who understands why we do this work. I'm dying. Stage 4 cancer. The doctors give me 6 months. Danny doesn't know yet, and by the time you read this, I'll be gone. I made him promise to meet you, but only if it happened naturally. I know my brother. He'll resist. He'll hide behind his money and his walls. But you'll break through. You have to. The foundation has $200 million. Danny will waste it on tax shelters and corporate philanthropy events. But you, Olivia, you'll actually use it. The animal shelter you dream about? Build 100 of them. The veterinary degree you can't afford? Fund it for 1,000 kids like us. I'm trusting you with my brother's heart. Don't let him hide anymore. And Danny, if you're reading over her shoulder, I love you. Stop being an idiot. Jennifer. Olivia's hands shook so hard the paper fluttered. Tears blurred the words. She planned this, Olivia whispered. From the beginning. She always was better at seeing the future than I was. Daniel's voice cracked. She knew I'd fall for you. She knew you'd save me. I'm not a savior, Daniel. I'm just a vet tech drowning in student loans. You're the strongest person I've ever met. He moved closer. Jennifer saw it. I see it. The question is, do you see it? Olivia looked at the letter, at the ring box she'd left on the guest room nightstand, at the man who'd lied to her and yet somehow told her the deepest truth of all. If I say yes, she said slowly, I need real answers. No more secrets. No more dead sister manipulation. Deal. Why 6 months? Why did Jennifer put that timeline in the will? Daniel's face went pale. Because that's when the foundation board meets. My uncle, Richard, he's been trying to take control for years. He wants to dissolve everything, sell the assets. Jennifer knew if I stayed alone, stayed empty, I'd let him win. But if I had someone worth fighting for, I'd be your weapon. You'd be my partner. The city hummed below them, millions of lives unaware of this moment, this choice that would change everything. Olivia thought of her parents in Queens, bent over sewing machines. Of the dogs at the shelter she couldn't save because there wasn't enough funding. Of Jennifer, dying alone, writing letters to strangers in the hope of fixing what she'd leave behind. I have conditions, Olivia said. Daniel's eyes sparked with something like hope. Name them. First, we don't tell anyone the real reason. Not your uncle, not the board. As far as they know, we're crazy kids in love. Done. Second, half the foundation money goes into my name. Not after we're married. Before. Daniel blinked. That's $100 million, Olivia. I know. And if you trust me the way Jennifer did, you'll sign it over. Because if this goes wrong, if your uncle wins, I need to be able to protect what she built. A slow smile spread across his face. Jennifer would have loved you. Third condition. Olivia's voice hardened. You tell me the real reason you're terrified of your uncle. The thing you're still hiding. The smile died. Olivia. No more secrets, Daniel. That was the deal. He walked to the window, shoulders rigid. When he spoke, his voice was barely audible. Richard killed her. Jennifer, I mean. The car accident was no accident. The floor seemed to tilt. And he knows that I know. The wedding happened in a courthouse with 2 witnesses pulled from the hallway. Olivia wore the green dress from their first date. Daniel wore the same haunted look he'd had since confessing about Richard. I now pronounce you husband and wife. The words felt like a cage door closing.
Outside, rain hammered the streets. Olivia climbed into Daniel's car, her new ring heavy on her finger. Neither of them spoke during the drive to the lawyer's office. Mrs. Torres Bennett. The lawyer slid papers across the desk. Your husband has transferred $100 million into your name, as requested. Congratulations. Olivia signed. Her hand didn't shake this time. That night, in the penthouse that now legally belonged to both of them, Daniel's phone rang. He stared at the screen, face ashen. It's Richard. Put it on speaker, Olivia said. Daniel hesitated, then pressed the button. Nephew. The voice was smooth, cultured, poisonous. I hear congratulations are in order. How convenient, this sudden marriage. One day before the deadline. What do you want, Richard? A conversation. Tomorrow night. The plaza. Just you and me. I'm not. Oh, you'll come. Unless you want the police to receive certain documents about Jennifer's accident. The brake line analysis I've been holding on to. The one that proves tampering. Olivia's blood froze. You're admitting it? Daniel's voice shook with rage. I'm reminding you that in this family, we understand leverage. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Come alone or your new bride will be visiting you in prison for insurance fraud. After all, who benefits most from Jennifer's death? The brother who inherited everything. The line went dead. Daniel's hands clenched into fists. He's going to kill me. No. Olivia stood, mind racing. He's going to threaten you into signing over the foundation. He'll say he has evidence against you, that he'll go to the police unless you give him control. Then, once he has what he wants, he'll kill you anyway and destroy the evidence. How do you? Because that's what I'd do if I were a sociopath with $200 million on the line. She grabbed her phone. We need to call the police. With what proof? He has documents that implicate me. Even if they're fake, The investigation alone would tie up the foundation for years. Richard wins either way. Olivia paced the length of the windows. The city glittered below, beautiful and brutal. Then we give him what he wants. Olivia. We give him the foundation. All of it. But first, we move every single dollar out of the accounts and into mine. Tonight. Right now. Then tomorrow night, you sign over an empty shell. Daniel stared at her. That's fraud. Real fraud, not the fake kind Richard's threatening. If we're caught, we won't be. Jennifer's will stipulated that I get control of half upon marriage. We execute that clause immediately. Then you gift me the other half as your spouse. All legal. All documented. By the time Richard realizes what happened, the money will be untouchable. He'll come after you. Let him try. Olivia's jaw set. I grew up in Queens, Daniel. I know how to fight dirty. They worked through the night. Lawyers, bankers, wire transfers that made Olivia's head spin. By dawn, $200 million sat in accounts bearing only her name. Daniel looked at her across the table of paperwork, exhaustion, and something else in his eyes. You could run right now. Take all of it. Disappear. I know. Why don't you? Olivia thought of Jennifer's letter. Of the trust a dying woman had placed in a stranger. Of Daniel's hand in hers during that first coffee shop conversation, before money and murder and manipulation had poisoned everything. Because this isn't about the money anymore. That evening, Daniel dressed for the meeting. Olivia watched him button his shirt, terror clawing at her throat. Wear a wire, she said. If he finds it, then we'll have evidence of him threatening you. It's the only way. Daniel pulled her close. His heart hammered against her chest. If something happens to me, nothing will happen. Olivia. Listen. He gripped her shoulders. If something happens, you take that money and you build what Jennifer dreamed of. Promise me. She couldn't speak. Could only nod. He kissed her forehead and walked out the door. Olivia sat in the dark penthouse, listening to the wire feed through her earpiece. She heard Daniel enter the plaza. Heard Richard's cold greeting. Heard the clink of glasses. You've come to your senses then? Richard's voice purred. I'm signing over the foundation. All of it. Just leave Olivia out of this. How noble. Jennifer would be proud. Don't say her name. Why not? I'm the reason she's gone. I'm the reason you're about to lose everything. I'm a crush. Shouting. Then Daniel's voice desperate. Olivia, run. He knows. He knows about the money. Run now. The feed went dead.
Olivia didn't run. She called Detective Morrison, the one officer her clinic trusted with animal abuse cases. She sent him everything: the wire recording, Jennifer's letter, the financial transfers, the break line analysis Richard had threatened them with. Then she walked into the Plaza Hotel alone. Richard sat at the bar, calm as glass. Daniel was gone. Mrs. Bennet. Richard smiled. How lovely of you to join us. Your husband is indisposed at the moment. Where is he? Parking garage. Level 3. Don't worry, he's alive. For now. Richard sipped his scotch. You're quite clever, moving all that money. But did you really think I wouldn't have contingencies? Like what? Killing another family member? If necessary. He set down his glass. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to transfer every penny back into the foundation accounts. Then you're going to disappear. Divorce Daniel quietly. Take a generous settlement and vanish. And if I don't? Then I make one phone call, and your husband's brake lines suffer the same fate as Jennifer's. Olivia's hands clenched. She thought of Daniel in the parking garage, terrified and alone. She thought of Jennifer, dying because she dared to care about something bigger than money. No, she said. Richard's smile vanished. Excuse me? I said no. Olivia pulled out her phone. You see, Richard, I've been recording this conversation. And Detective Morrison is currently in the parking garage with Daniel, very much alive and very much listening. The color drained from Richard's face. You're bluffing. Am I? Olivia turned the phone around. The detective's number glowed on the screen. Call time, 8 minutes. The bar doors burst open. 3 officers flooded in, Morrison at the lead. Richard Bennett, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, and about 6 other charges we'll add as we go. Richard lunged for Olivia. She didn't flinch. Morrison caught him first, slamming him against the bar. You'll never make it stick, Richard spat as they cuffed him. I have the best lawyers in the city. You had the best lawyers, Olivia corrected. I just hired them all. Retainer fees are amazing when you have $200 million. Daniel appeared in the doorway, bruised but whole. Their eyes met across the chaos. 3 months later, Olivia stood in front of a building in Queens. The sign read, Jennifer Torres Memorial Animal Shelter and Veterinary Training Center. Daniel wrapped his arm around her waist. The bruises had faded. The nightmares hadn't, but they were getting better. She'd love this, he said softly. She made this. Olivia leaned into him. All of it. No. Daniel turned her to face him. You made this. Jennifer just knew you would. Inside, a dozen veterinary students worked with rescued animals. Olivia's parents sat in the office, helping with paperwork, finally retired from the textile factory. The foundation funded 12 more shelters across the city, with 20 more planned. Richard sat in a cell awaiting trial. The brake line evidence had been real, after all. He'd kept it as insurance, never imagining it would seal his own fate. Do you regret it? Daniel asked. Marrying a stranger for money? Almost dying? All of it? Olivia watched through the window as a young girl carefully bandaged a dog's paw. The girl's eyes sparkled with the same determination Olivia remembered from her own childhood. I regret that it took all this for us to find each other, she said. But I don't regret us. Neither do I. They stood there as the sun set over Queens, 2 people brought together by grief and money and a dead woman's final wish. It wasn't the love story either of them had imagined. It was better. It was real. Olivia pulled Jennifer's letter from her pocket. She'd carried it every day since that first night. The last line glowed in the dying light. Don't let him hide anymore. She saw everything, Olivia whispered. Except one thing. What's that? That I'd need saving too. Daniel kissed her temple. Then let's keep saving each other. Inside the shelter, a dog barked. A cat meowed. A student laughed. The city hummed with life and noise and possibility. And somewhere, Olivia hoped, Jennifer smiled. The end.